right. Happy Friday morning. I'm hoping this will be the first good quality motovlog. I've got myself a new microphone. It's a mono omnidirectional. So I found out with the GoPro Hero 5 and up, with the audio adapter that you have to get an external microphone. Any stereo microphones for some reason have a lot of popping and clicking that go on with motorcycles, especially high speed. I guess it just can't factor in all the wind noise and extra noise and everything. So here we are. My motovlog is going to basically be my daily commute back and forth from work. It is about 35, I think it's like between 35 and 38 miles. Maybe a little bit, no, 35 minutes. My commute is pretty boring, to be honest. I do live in South Georgia. I commute between the cities of Jessup and Baxley. It's basically what I'm going to do is just talk about stuff that's interest to me, things that I've gone through, things that I'm going through, just life in general, just to give you a glimpse of what it's like to be a dad of all trades. Because, you know, I work full-time. I've got 4 kids at home. I've got church responsibilities. I love doing DIY projects. One of my hobbies is with the Society for Creative Anachronism, or SCA for short, where we do medieval fights and battles and recreate medieval life. Well, that doesn't look good. I need to... That's a nursing home. Oh, man. Alright, I gotta get some... What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? There we go. Hello. Hi, I just need to get some heartworm medication.
Okay, did you call it in?
I did not. It's for Luna. Alright, thank you. Alright, so got my dog's heartworm medication. It's nice the vet has a drive-up option to pick up medication. So yeah, that's good. So my name is Bill. My nickname in college was Tuba Bill because I played tuba, obviously. Got my degree in music. Had goals to be a university or college professor in music and playing or teaching tuba. That just it didn't pan out. So tried my hand at army bands. I did audition and was accepted to the United States Army bands, the field bands. I had a position at Fort Lewis up in Tacoma, Washington. However, I discovered tuba players don't run. So I went through all of the 4+ months of basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Lost in the Woods in Missouri, and excelled. I mean, excelled at everything. Well, I wouldn't say excelled. I did well at everything. You know, shooting, I was a sharpshooter. I think I hit like, I forget what it was, but it was like, you know, 27 out of 30 targets. up to 300 yards. So, you know, I could shoot pretty well. And I hadn't really shot much before. I'd shot a shotgun a couple times, but that was it. You know, the military leadership, you know, I have a college degree, or I had a bachelor's degree at that point, and because of that I was automatically enlisted as an E4 or a specialist. So I wasn't an E1 private. You know, so a little bit extra pay. But that also came with, you know, I was the platoon leader, pretty much automatically, most of the time. And, you know, so when we did our field trainings, I was the platoon leader then, and I was leading, I was calling the shots, I was giving the orders, on these exercises, and it was great. I mean, I loved it. That was probably the most fun that I had in basic training. It was camping out and playing Army soldier. After it was all said and done, though, it comes down to that last PT test, physical fitness test, where it's push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run. I was 25 when I enlisted. I don't remember exactly the number that I had to hit for the minimum to pass, but the push-ups and sit-ups, I was fine. 10-mile run, however, I was 10 seconds short. 10 seconds. So, you know, for example, I don't remember the exact time. It was around 17 minutes. So let's just make it easy to say 17 minutes was my deadline. I had to run 2 miles in 17 minutes or under. I came in at 17 minutes and 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So because of that, they discharged me. Yes, they gave me, I had 3 chances to go do it. You know, I don't want to make excuses, but the reason that I say, jokingly I say tuba players don't run, but really the reason was, I went to Fort Leonard Wood in January. We were welcomed with a blizzard. It dumped over 2 feet of snow on the ground overnight. Missouri in the winter is kind of brutal. And so out of all 9 weeks of basic training, we actually got out and ran 3 or 4 times. That's it. Because we couldn't. It was snowing, the roads were iced, and the drill sergeants, I think, were just too lazy. And so we didn't run. So if you weren't a conditioned runner before that, you were really hard pressed. And I tried. I was doing lunges in my bay. I was jogging in place, jumping jacks, burpees, wall climbs, everything I could to build up my endurance, my stamina. But to no avail. So the second time I took it, I think it was snowing. The third time they let me take it, they did something tricky. So we ran on this, it was pretty much like a golf cart path, a little narrow road. We would pretty much run down, turn around, and come back. Well, there's a drill sergeant in an orange vest that was posted in the middle that was marking the 1 mile mark, the turnaround point. So we turned around. Well, they did a little trickiness, and they were standing here. Another drill sergeant wearing an orange vest was also standing just behind, probably about another 20 yards or so. So somebody just kept running and ran around the second drill sergeant, because, you know, he was bigger than the other one. He was more noticeable. And so I followed, and as I'm going around, he starts going, "I don't know what you privates are doing. I'm not the turnaround, she's the turnaround." So I had to run an extra 40 yards. It doesn't sound that much, but when you're right on the line of passing, that 40 yards could have given me the 10 seconds that I needed. Needless to say, I was kind of disappointed. I was upset. I had been, basically put through hell for 4 months. And no, I'm not giving any, whatever. I'm not sugarcoating it. Basic training is not meant to be a vacation. It's meant to train you as a soldier to kill people, to defend the nation. I get that. So they have to put you in stressful situations. They have to try your mental fortitude. And that whole, tear you down to build you back up as a United States soldier. Well, my experience was, it was 4 months of tearing down and there was no build-up. Even the ones who did pass, like, with no problems, the soccer players, the fitness fanatics, the ones that had no problems passing, they still got smoked. And smoking is where they make you do push-ups, sit-ups, they make you do physical stuff as punishment. And basically they do it until you puke. It was not a pleasant place. It was not a good place for me mentally or physically. But I really wish it would have worked out sometimes. I wonder why God led me that way. Because my wife and I prayed about it. We prayed. We knew that there was a chance that I could be deployed. Even in the band. The band gets deployed. Typically we're not in harm's way. But, that would be separation. And if we were going to have kids, she would be a single mother, basically, while I'm gone. But it was tough. So after I failed the third time, they made me sign all these disciplinary councils, these forms just saying, I suck, I'm horrible, I'm worthless, I'm no use to the United States Army because I can't run 10 seconds faster than they wanted me to. I could shoot, I had the military mentality, but if you don't run, if you aren't physically this specimen, then they don't want you. And unfortunately, it's true. What really made me upset though, later, as I'm waiting 6 weeks for them to do my paperwork, my discharge paperwork, and send me home. 6 weeks. I was talking to one of the other drill sergeants because everybody else was gone. Well, not everybody. So in the whole company, about 400, there was around 40 who didn't pass because of various things. Mostly because of the PT test. Yes, there were a few disciplinary things. There were a few people who just couldn't handle it. But 10%, over 10% of the company failed, and most of that was because of the PT test. Now, if you have a lot of people who are failing PT tests, and we've been in your charge for the past 9 weeks to help us get physically fit, shouldn't that say something? But anyway, as I was talking to this one drill sergeant, now he was a cool one. He was one that if you were legit, if you just had your head on straight, he was cool. And he would absolutely lose it if somebody was doing something stupid. But if you had your head on screwed on right, he was cool. He talked to you like a person, not some piece of scum maggot private. Anyway, I was talking to him and kind of told him, my frustration, saying it was 10 seconds, drill sergeant. 10 seconds is what's keeping me from going in this career that I've given a lot to. And he said, well, that's unfortunate, but there were some of my privates that I was scoring that, you know, they were a couple push-ups or sit-ups short, so I know they're going on to AIT next. They can make it up there, so I pushed them through. And I was like, really? So it depended on who your drill sergeant was, if they were lazy enough to pencil whip you through. It was just frustrating. One of those times I was waiting for 6 weeks. I had the opportunity to go to the PX, which was a wonderful thing. I mean, I could get away from the drill sergeants. I was still on base. I really didn't have freedom, but I could go, I could look, I could buy, you know, I could buy food, I could go shopping. It was great. But anyway, then I saw some of the people I was in the company with still there. This was like 4 weeks later. I was like, what are you doing here? And they're like, we're still waiting for orders. So the company was sitting on their paperwork, not sending it in. Something was going on. These people, these soldiers who had already passed everything, graduated, went through the ceremony, which I didn't even get to go to. I didn't even get to watch because I was ashamed. I was the shame of Foxtrot 787. But it was, I was like, what's going on? And they said, yeah, we've been talking to home and telling them what's going on. They're not even telling, like, they're not communicating with their families, with their wives, their parents. What's going on? And of course, still in that basic training, kind of semi-lockdown. They don't get the full freedoms that they would, having graduated. So they couldn't call home. They couldn't, they could write home, but yeah, that took a little while to get there. So parents started calling Congress, their congressmen, to say, what is going on? So Congress started investigating Foxtrot 787. So the beginning of this company, this was at a time when there was a huge influx of people enlisting in the military. So it was already overcrowded, not overcrowded, but the military was overstaffed, I guess. But they were still taking more recruits. They were taking more and more. Mine, I found out, was an overflow company. Foxtrot 787 did not exist before I got there, before my intake got there. And they took drill sergeants from several different companies all around and threw them together and said, make it work. So we had MPs. We were part of the MP battalion, the military police. But not all the drill sergeants were MPs. We had some MPs, we had some infantry, we had some engineers, we had a whole mix of these mentalities. By far the harshest and the most cruel ones were the MPs. And because we were an MP company, or MP battalion, we were treated as if, as MPs, even though we were a whole mixture. We had infantry, but there were several band people like me. We had cooks, we had mechanics, we had people who were going on to be pilots. And so it was a whole mixture of these MOSs, these jobs in the military. And but they treated us like absolute dirt from the beginning. Yes, I understand. It is a rude wake up. It is a rude awakening, a time to really check yourself, because yes, there were other guys there, other people there that had attitudes, and man, did they have it rough. But it never stopped. Even as we progressed through the phases, red phase is, lockdown. You can't do anything. Then you have white phase. You get to do a little bit. Blue phase is, you're almost soldiers. You're almost there. You're doing good. They treat you as more equals. That's what everybody told me. That's what I read. There's, a book, 56 Days and a Wake Up or something like that. I read that. That's what that said. A recruiter was telling me that. Everybody I talked to said, yeah, as you get closer to the end of basic training, they start being nicer. They start treating you as equals. And yeah, if you get out of line, they will thump your head, make you pound sand, whatever. It will, but do what you're supposed to. Be smart. It never happened. Never. Even the day before graduation, most of the company was going to graduate. Something happened. One of the drill sergeants misplaced their beanie, their little, stocking hat to keep his bald head warm. So we ate breakfast. Well, of course, we did our morning PT. Then we went and ate breakfast. Because we were at that point, we could go through the line more than once. And we're like, yeah, this is awesome. We'd go back for more pancakes, more sauces, more eggs. And we could talk. We could visit, socialize, as long as we kept it, under a certain volume level. But we had privilege. When we went back out, we were putting back in formation. We were, still kind of, a little bit lax because, we'd made it. We'd almost gotten there. And then they call us to attention. And then one of the drill sergeants absolutely goes ballistic and just starts yelling and screaming, somebody stole my hat. Somebody stole it. We're going to find out. We're going to be out here until we find it. So we did a quick march, which is basically a jog in formation, away from the cafeteria or the mess hall, and over to the pit. Now the pit was just this gigantic courtyard of thick rubber chips, and that's where they torture you, basically. And had a track going around. So for the next I want to say 2 or 3 hours, they smoked the entire company, everyone, because the drill sergeant couldn't find his hat. And then, because he was saying, we're going to keep doing this until somebody tells me where my hat is. Somebody shows me where the hat is. Blah, blah, blah. So they would make us run a lap. This is a big track. It's, a normal sized track. So run a lap and then push-ups. Front, back, move. So we're push-ups, push-up position, lay on your back, and then jump up and jog in place. Front, back, move, front, back, move, front, back, move, front, back, move. Run, 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 go, go, go. Front, back, move, burpees, mountain climbers. Until everyone basically had puked up their breakfast. So and people talk when we got back to the barracks, which our barracks were just trailers that they had put together. They were vacant for a long time, and we had to clean them up. But anyway, so we're trailers. We got back to our little trailers, and we're just like, dude, what was that all about? And there were several people that were going through basic training who had prior military service. They had been in the Army before, they retired or gotten out, and now they were re-enlisting. So they're like, yeah, man, they're going through this again. One of them was even a drill sergeant before, and they wouldn't let him wear his sergeant, because his rank was actually sergeant. So he exited the military as a staff sergeant. When he re-enlisted, he lost a rank. So they wouldn't let him wear his sergeant rank, his patch, because one of the other drill sergeants was a sergeant. They didn't want him to be seen as an equal to the drill sergeant. So, but anyway, he was telling us, yeah, they had that in for us. They were doing that on purpose. He probably knew exactly where his hat was. Maybe even had it in his back pocket. But giving us that opportunity to that little bit of freedom, and letting us indulge ourselves in some greasy, heavy breakfast, and then smoking us for that long, that was purposeful. So, I mean, I could tell a million stories, but end of the day, I went back home, so I lived in Knoxville at the time, so I went from Missouri to Knoxville. They put me on a plane to Atlanta, and basically said, you got to figure it out from there. I was like, why? But what do I do? It's like, well, I mean, you're on your own. You're out of the Army's, out of our, whatever, not out of our control. You're out of our hair. You're not our problem anymore. So you figure it out. Get a bus, get a cab, get another plane ticket, whatever. We're done. So I was like, really? 6 weeks along, I was waiting to go home to my wife, and they'd send me to Atlanta, which is still, 4 or 5 hours away. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, get home, finally get back to Knoxville, and I walk in the recruiter's office, and they're all like, what the heck are you doing here? And I was like, I've been discharged. What? They hadn't heard. They didn't know. Which, I thought their recruiter would be one of the first to know. Because they're the one that signed the paper saying, yeah, I was a good candidate to go to the military. But no, they hadn't heard anything. So I sat down with them and told them what all happened and kind of what it was like, how we were denied our mail for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. And they would say it's not here. Yet when we would talk to other companies, yeah, they were still getting their mail. But anyway, I told them some of the things that went on, and my recruiter looked at me and just said, "I'm so sorry. That is not the Army way. That you had it bad." So it was kind of rough for a while. I was depressed. I had been through hell, and I had been torn down for 4+ months, because that 6 weeks that I was waiting, I was getting passive back and forth between different companies, who were taking care of their own privates, and I was just that sounds funny. Kings tear their own soldiers. And I was just somebody extra they had to take care of. There's probably 10 of us that were all waiting. But, and most of those others that were waiting were disciplinary problems. So, like, one of them punched a drill sergeant. One of them couldn't follow orders, couldn't take directions, had a problem with authority from day one. So they lumped me with that trouble group, not really knowing that, no, I am not a problem. I couldn't run as fast enough as you wanted me to. That's why I'm here. And I told one of the drill sergeants that, and they said, I don't care. So, yeah, that's the mentality. But anyway, and I've told other people, other people who have been in the military, who are in the military, your friends, and they just said, dude, that's not right. You had a bad experience. And I agree. It was rough. For however long it was, from January 11th of 2011, because I had to do 01/11/11. I mean, yeah, 01/11 of 01. Yeah, no. Anyway, forget 11. Yeah, 2011. Yeah. Anyway, so from January until I think I finally came home mid-March, or February. No, I came home mid-April. January, February, March, April. So over 4 months of just being torn down and beaten down. My wife said, "You're different." I was quiet. I didn't really want to do anything. I was depressed. That was my career. That's what I was hoping to do. Play band. And because I couldn't run as fast as they wanted me to, that was taken away. So yeah, I was depressed for a while. It took me a long time to kind of get out of it. So that is my military experience. So when I'm in, especially like 4th of July, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, where people, take a day to say thank you for the military. I don't raise my hand to say I'm a veteran, because I didn't fight. I didn't do anything. Even in the band, that's still doing something. You're giving concerts. It's outreach to the community. You give concerts to fellow soldiers to boost morale. It's one unit, one military unit. So everybody has something to do. So yeah, I don't stand up when they say veterans please stand. I don't ask for military discounts. I don't have a military ID. I have a DD-214 that has a General Discharge on it. But I don't. I commend and I respect those that serve the military, that fight for our freedoms. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that. So that was a longer story than I thought it was going to be. Good therapy session, though. That's what these are going to be. I'm here at work at the Appling County Cooperative Extension Service, where I'm a 4-H agent. So this will be a good vlog, good motovlog. Just tell different stories, let y'all know how things are going. And just talk, kind of be my own personal therapy session on my nice 40-minute commute back and forth from work. But yeah, again, my name's Bill, Tuba Billy, and I'll go and sign out now. God be with you till we meet again.